Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome to the Hildebrand Law Firm topic for today.
I'm Kirsten Hildebrand,
And I'm Matt Kaplan.
and today we are going to continue our discussion on the four myths of estate planning. And we are going to talk about one that we hear sometimes, but probably more often than not. These people will come to a workshop or a seminar and then they just float away because in their head they are thinking, wow, this has got to be really expensive and it's going to take way too much work and I don't want to deal with it.
You know what's the most expensive and the most amount of work? Not getting it done. Let me give you some examples. I have countless amounts of clients who come to me and they say, well, why do I need to put my home in a trust? I went to the banker and the banker just said, put my home in all four of my kids' names
Mm.
so that it can get out of my name so I can qualify for Medicaid. What's wrong with that? I go, well, what's wrong with that is that you spent how much time rallying all your kids together, getting deeds written, making sure you go to the county yourself, getting all of that done, and did it all get done correctly? I don't know. Did everything get done at the bank correctly by you switching all of your accounts so that it could be payable to one of your kids and not other kids, making sure that that all is even? The amount of times I hear people trying to circumvent plans saying, oh, yeah, well, I have one account and that's going to go to one kid, that's $100,000, and then two accounts worth $50,000 each, that's going to go to another kid. To me, that sounds like a heck of a lot more work than actually getting it done.
Well, let's just think of all of the things that can go wrong in that situation. So, first of all, you could have one of the kids who takes over as the personal representative, taking money out of one account that then would not be available to maybe the person who's the beneficiary of that account. What if there's a power of attorney that's appointed and now you're taking funds out of one place? What if there's debts? What if there's end of life debts that need to get paid? How does that get handled? Let's talk about the transfer on death deed. If it's transferring on death to kids, there's no protection whatsoever. And it is definitely open for claims against the estate. It's got all kinds of potential things that could go wrong. And probably the biggest thing, which I know we've maybe mentioned before, is that then is an available asset for purposes of Title 19 saying, hey, you've got to pay back everything that was attributed to you when you went to the nursing home. So there's no protection for it whatsoever. So, in a certain sense, the least of your problems is getting it into the names of the kids. Well, then the other thing I would ask the banker is, are you an accountant or a lawyer? Because I don't try to talk about banking laws, and they probably shouldn't be trying to talk about legal and accounting laws, because if that question was posed to the accountant would say, well, you can definitely do that transfer, but guess what? Now you ruin the step up in basis. So whatever you have saved in terms of not getting an estate plan done, you have now probably paid many times over to the government because you lost that tax benefit.
Right. And so when it comes to spending all this time and all this effort to try to circumvent estate planning, I hear that so many times is that they ran around like a chicken with their head cut off, thinking that they're going to get the same results from doing estate planning, but for some reason they just don't want to do it. So that's that thing about it taking a lot of work. And then sometimes people say it's expensive. It takes a lot of work and it's expensive. To me, the most expensive thing that you could ever do is not getting planning done. If you, especially Kirsten's talked about it a million times, probate. Probate is expensive, especially with the story that she talked about. Probate is expensive. Incapacity. We've already talked in previous videos about a guardianship. Incapacity, 5, 10, 15 plus $1,000, depending on if it's contested. And then long-term care costs. For the cost of 1 month stay in a nursing home, you could get a really good estate plan in place that will prevent all of those costs. So if you say it's expensive, I can't afford estate planning, really the question is, can you afford all those other things? Most of the
Mm.
time, the answer is no.
Yes, we have a very interesting chart that we've put together on one of our estate planning seminars that you should take a look at. And it really does a line by line comparison of what it will really cost you to not do estate planning. And in most instances, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars that you are putting at risk by not doing estate planning. So it's definitely not something to mess around with. I think the question is more analogous to, would you have insurance on your house? If you had a 100% chance of knowing that your house was going to catch on fire and burn down, do you think if you're going to be saying to yourself, wow, it's kind of expensive to get that insurance? Of course not.
Right.
But that is the proper analogy.
Yeah.
If you have a 100% chance of dying, which I don't know, I think I might. Do you?
I'm going to try not to.
Yeah, we're all
I'm really
gonna
doing
try.
my best.
Right. They call that denial of death, right? Um, and so if you have a 100% chance of that happening, then why would you not make a one-time investment in really good, well done estate planning documents that are going to completely minimize the work? Because that's the other thing that you were talking about, saving time and not having it be a lot of work. I promise you, the biggest amount of time is spent on cleaning up the errant work that was done by people who were DIYs, right? Have you ever been in a house and you could walked into the bathroom and you could tell for sure this is a DIY bathroom because
Right.
the wainscoting is cracking, it's a little askew, the tile isn't in right, the toe toe what is that called, the little thing on the bottom, the
I know what you're talking about. I have no idea what it's called.
the toe kick, the toe
Yeah.
kick isn't in properly. There might be a little bit of a problem in the corner where you can see that it wasn't painted, and you think to yourself, okay, this is just not what a bathroom should look like. It's kind of the same way
Yeah.
with people who try to do it themselves in terms of their estate planning. It's not going to turn out well and it's not going to work right.
Well, let me give you an example. So when I moved into my house, I thought it would be so cool to have one of those smart thermostats. So I went online and I bought an Ecobee smart thermostat. That'd be the coolest thing. I can adjust it from my phone. It'd be awesome. And I'm like, I'm young. I understand electronics. I can install it myself. You can see where this story is going. So I installed it myself, and I thought everything was going fine until I got my first furnace tune-up. And the person looking at my furnace was like, yeah, how come your air conditioning fan goes on when your furnace turns on? And I go, it's not supposed to do that? He's like, no, you're pulling in cold air from outside that it then has to heat up. It's costing you more money. And I go, oh, whoops, can you fix that? He goes, yeah, I can try to fix it. 3 hours later, it was fixed, and they bill by the hour. And I said, how long would have taken you if you just did it yourself? He goes, probably a half hour.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
painful.
and I learned. And my wife's like, I'm not contributing to this. This is on you, Matt.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, that's just an example of unless you know what the heck you're doing, have somebody who knows what the heck they're doing do it. Because
Yes.
doing it right the first time is cheaper. It's better than if you have to clean up a mess. How many messes have we cleaned up?
Oh my goodness, endless messes. And I will say that one of the pet peeves that I have is when people try to shop between lawyers and they're looking solely at the price point instead of looking at the quality of the job. So that's like saying I'm getting a trust is like saying I'm getting a car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, would you not get a car because it is going to be serviceable and well done and it's going to get you where you want to go, but you really want to pay less, so you buy a crummy car that's not going to get you where you want to go, that is difficult to manage, maybe it's got problems and it just is clunky and it gives out. That's sort of, well, you can pat yourself on the back for getting a cheaper car, but does it accomplish the purpose? And that's something that we really emphasize here is you can definitely find a crappy lawyer who's going to give you a crappy trust, just to be
Right.
completely transparent about it. And that is not the right way to go, in our opinion. The right way to go is to do it right the first time. Get a great trust that is going to take you where you need it to take you.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for joining us. We've really enjoyed having you listen to our second myth about estate planning. And we are interested in protecting your today and tomorrow. See you next time.